Welcome to Respec Games, where we respect games. This is Tell. This is Polo. I'm Polo. That's Tell. And we are Respec Games. Welcome to Respec Gaming Podcast. The gaming podcast brought to you every Wednesday, for the most part, at 7 a.m. for the most part. If you notice, this episode is going to be up late because I am editing it the day after we record it. But I digress. For the most part. Welcome to Respec Games, where we talk about games, news, and many other, a plethora of things on this podcast. Tell, welcome back. How you feeling?
I'm chilling, bro. Mm-hmm. It has been a relatively exciting week.
Yeah.
Especially for me as a Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
But also as an anime fan.
Yeah.
And as a brother and husband.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty cool week for me. How's your week been, bro?
Same, man. Really good week. The day that we're recording this is October 14th, which is my birthday. And probably one of the best I've had in many years. Really thankful for the people I have around me and the person I have in my life, my wife. We're going to talk about her a little bit later because we got again, and we're going to talk about that. She was actually involved in literally right before we recorded this. So it's going to be fun. All right, Tell. With respect, as we start off every episode, we give a respect badge to anything in the gaming industry or people we adore or just life in general, just people we feel deserves their flowers. This week, I'll start. I want to give my respect badge to New World. New World just dropped their largest patch, which kind of reworks the entirety of the end game, which gives it in PvE end game, which is a player versus environment end game. I think Frozen said this is one of the MMOs he actually played. But yeah, this is an MMO that got reworked. And the good news is if you decide to jump into New World, the expansion that they released I think it was a year after New World released, they decided to give it away for free to everybody. And if you purchase, because people were returning to New World recently, if you purchased it within 30 days, they just gave you a full refund for that expansion that you bought if you bought it. So the one thing that was keeping me from diving back into New World was the fact that I've already bought the game. I bought the game when it first came out for $40 or $50 or something like that. Then they released this expansion, which was $30. And I'm like, I'm just not going to play, because if you don't have that expansion, then you don't have access to all the content, all the levels, the mounts, etc. So they decided that since they're doing their biggest patch yet, to just release the expansion for free for everybody. So that's really freaking cool. Good on them. That's how you bring players back to your MMO. And as an MMO aficionado here on Respec Games, I do think that is quality work that's being held over by Katie, the new game director over at Amazon Games in New World. So shout out to them for that. They get my respect badge this week.
I do want to say that previously on this podcast, I did mention how New World was a game that I really enjoyed playing with the bros.
Yeah.
The experience of playing it, especially when we all first started
at launch,
at launch, it felt unique for me. And it was also just thoroughly enjoyable to play along with the guys. It felt like something that we all could just really dive into, and we could be solo, like, the split play kind of scenario where we're all doing our own thing, and then we can come together and play together. Mm-hmm. It was a really enjoyable scenario. So I actually think that it's really cool that they are doing that. It makes me really want to dive back into it.
Me too.
Even though I know I'm not going to have the time right now.
Yeah, I know. Same. It's exactly how I feel. That's why we're talking to Multipurpose, a gaming buddy of ours, and I was like, you got me wanting to play it, but it's just so much stuff to play. And to go into that, like, it's just, like, I still got Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 has an expansion that's dropping the 28th of October. So I got that to worry about. Then there's Arc Raiders that comes out October 30th, which I'm definitely going to play some Arc Raiders. And I would love to play that with a group of people, but I know it's hard to buy that one. There's games coming out. It's just so much to play that it's hard to find time to want to dive into something older, even though that older experience is more modernized, more brought up to speed, and even more fun. And I think maybe we do the episode of Respect the Game. Me and you diving into a new characters fresh and just playing it together and talking. That could be an idea.
Yeah, and I want to say we'll discuss this at another time, but I really do want to play Arc Raiders.
Oh yeah,
I really want to play that, especially just based off the auditory value of that game alone.
Oh my god, it's incredible. I played 100%. I played every beta of Arc Raiders that they had, the NDA ones, the non-NDA ones, and it was just the quality in which it got better each and every playtest was like, wow, this is a developer that listens to their community, and it's something else, Tel. It's something else.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played it at all. I just watched a ton of gameplay for it because
really?
Man, I didn't get a chance to play it, but I can't wait. My with respect is going to go to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now, I know I've talked about playing this game as well previously, but it was partially with the new release of the Minecraft festival.
Okay.
Minecraft festival event. And I got to let my son play this Minecraft festival event, and you get to play on the Minecraft map and everything, even if you don't own the characters.
Oh.
And it's also extremely kid friendly in general.
Nice.
I love being able to play a game solo and really dive in and kind of like grind and be try hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the kind of person I am. I am going to play things and I'm going to be try hard. Let's just be honest here. But I also like that when my kids, they watch me be try hard. They watch me play the game and try really hard. And sometimes I'll come in like third place and they're like, Daddy, did you lose? And it's like, I did. I did. But they saw me work really hard at it. Mm-hmm. And I let my daughter play on like the lowest setting, and she had a good time, and she let Apollo, she gave the controller to Apollo, and he plays, and he had a really good time. And I literally watched him play Sonic Racing for hours. Like, and it feels like one of those games that was made. And I'm just, I can't boast about it enough, but it's such a interesting game for what the market for that game actually is. Yeah. That I'm very impressed with it, especially with like the multiple dynamics. Like every vehicle feels different. The play styles, you can choose your own play style. If it feels uncomfortable to you, you can change it up, alter it. The gadgets make it unique as well, to where like if you are really good at the drifting, you can lean into drifting. If you're really good at or want to get better items, you can lean into the items. If you're really good at boosting, you lean into the boosting. You can really change the gameplay to play how you want to play. And I think that in general, in the kart racing universe for games, it feels like it has made a very strong statement. And I just really enjoy the game, like as a downtime game. So yeah, that's my with respect. Sonic Racing Crossworlds has just been like, I feel like I already was hyped and enjoyed playing it for when I did play it. Mm-hmm. But when that festival event came out, and then thinking about the festival event during the demo mode with Joker and whatnot, I just was like, the Joker event was cool. But then they released this whole new festival event for the Steve Minecraft characters. And it's a whole new scenario. The map is really cool, and it's just really interesting. So all I can say is that they clearly play this game or introduce this game with some love and care to it. Yeah. So I have to admit that it's been really enjoyable.
They develop it with respect, you could say.
With respect.
Incredible, man. That's good. And watching you play it, it looks like it's a lot of fun. So very interesting. Yeah. I would say that it still feels, and this is just me personally, because I am not as much of a Sonic guy as you are, or, you know, as the little ones, the nieces and nephews there. I just feel like $70 is a steep price for a game like this. I do believe that wholeheartedly, because it's just, I see the content, and I don't think it's enough content to justify the $70 price, but that's just my personal take on it, because obviously you find it to be well worth it because you're having a blast with it and you're enjoying it with the little ones. And I don't have kids, so I just think
right.
me paying $70 for a racer that has a few levels and a few characters just don't quantify to me with respect.
Yeah, and that's completely fair. That's completely fair.
So that's just me personally, but sorry to be negative here. Let's get into vertical slice. Shing.
We got to get that sound.
Either that or I'm gonna just keep making it, or I'm gonna add the echo or something.
Hey, it works.
So for this week, the week of October 14th, Battlefield 6 came out October 10th. We're gonna talk about that in the releases. But yeah, played a whole lot of that. And what I must say, this is the best Battlefield game I've ever played. And I've played all of them from 1942 to 2142. This Battlefield is incredible. From the immersion standpoint to the fun of the gameplay, the sheer epicness of the level and destruction and fucking just quality teamwork you could do. There is one major gripe, I would say, with this Battlefield. It's one gripe, but it's one major gripe, and that is the progression system. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do not like about the later Call of Duties is the way they do progression to where you have to use certain weapons to unlock other weapons. In this particular case, it's not necessarily that you have to use certain weapons. Yeah, you have to use a certain weapon type, but you have to do tasks that you wouldn't normally do to unlock a gun. Like there is this one LMG, because I'm an LMG main in Battlefield. Love my LMGs. There's this LMG that I want really bad. It's very mobile, super accurate, nice precision. The clip is about 60 rounds, but it doesn't take 5 seconds to reload like the other LMGs. And I wanted it so bad because I played it in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. The problem with this is that you have to get 10,000 damage, 10,000 hip fire damage, and you have to suppress enemies 300 times. So it's not because each time you suppress an enemy, that's 5 points. So it's not like you get 5 points for the suppression. Oh, my light just went out. No, it's you got to suppress one enemy, or not one enemy, but multiple enemies 300 times. Mm-hmm. And then at 10,000 hip fire damage, a full kill is 100 damage, which means that I have to hip fire and get kills with it to get the max amount of points I can possibly get, which is 100. So I got to hip fire that up to 10,000 damage. So it's like that kind of stuff makes you not play the way you normally would play, which then makes you not have fun because now you're fucking grinding out these tasks or these challenges. And it's next to impossible in a live match because hip firing with an LMG,
you're just shooting.
I'm just fucking wasting my time virtually. At that point, I'm getting myself killed and wasting my KDA. So what I did was I just created a private lobby via the portal and play with bots just to get it done so I can unlock this weapon I want to use against other players. And that's still taking forever. So the progression is a little rough with Battlefield 6, and it's a major gripe. However, when I'm playing it normal, when I can just play normal, when I'm using the gun I want, or just using a gun that I've, when I first got initiated into playing the Battlefield, was fucking incredible. The experience, the immersion, the fucking if you play in Battlefield 6, make sure you put this audio on headphones if you're using headphones and Wartales VAL. Because that sounds incredible. And these fucking $100 IEMs I got makes it just... I
was going to ask if you were using war tapes.
Of course. It's incredible. And I turn it all the way up. Even with my anxiety, it's just so much fun that I just cannot not play this way. I love it, though. I love it. And then for the second vertical slice... And we're both going to talk about this, so I'm going to let Till go first with his vertical slice, which is...
So I do want to say with Battlefield 6, with respect, I hope that they fix what you were talking about specifically.
And they listening. Yeah, they're listening to the community because I'm not the only one.
Mostly because, and I say this with all due respect, and a little bit of disrespect, but with all due respect, I hope it puts Black Ops in the dirt.
Yeah.
But Sonic Racing Crossworlds was my vertical slice. And then the second one for me was one that I just introduced to my brother here, Polow.
Yeah.
Final Sentence.
Yeah. So for those of you who are uninitiated and they're not PC nerds like we are, there is a fest going on, if you will, right now called the Next Fest, Steam Next Fest, which what they do is they release a lot of demos and just games that are up and coming via Steam via demos. So a bunch of demos came out, and I played a couple of demos, and I guess I could talk about the one of them I played was Cube Save Us, which is a battle royale, which is a very interesting battle royale because the concept is you dropped in this world with zombies, and it's very much a cash grab though. It's not, with respect, it's a cash grab from XL Games, who was the developers of Arcade, another very popular MMO that I played many years back, but it's just not a great game. It is unpolished and unjustified. But there was another demo that came off of this game, and I did see it on social media prior to Tell introducing me to this, but I didn't know what it was called. But Final Sentence, what an interesting ass concept.
It is a really cool concept. So what it is essentially you are in a battle royale, just like what Polo just mentioned, but you are typing for your life.
Yep.
Now they give you a prompt that you're going to type, and you have you do have a timer, but what they do is you type the prompt that they ask you to type. When you get to the end of that prompt, there is a timer that goes. And then you also have the opportunity where, let's say you mess up 3 times, they'll load a bullet into a revolver. Roulette style. Spin the roulette, fire it. If it misfires, it misfires. If it hits, it hits. And what kind of makes it crazy is when you listen to it, there is music playing.
Mm-hmm. Very ominous.
You'll hear the characters talking, and then you'll also hear the gunfire from other people who have messed up going off as well. So that just adds to the intensity. And you're trying to race to be the first person. Now, I imagine this is only a demo mode, so to speak. But in this demo, as you're playing, there's only one winner out of the 25 people who are playing. Is it 25 or 30?
32, actually.
Okay, 32. Out of the 32 people who are playing, there's only one winner. And they have to either get all the prompts correct and never miss anything, or just be the first one to the finish line, essentially to type all of the words that was given. And it gets intense, bro.
Very, very, very intense. It's very immersive too. Like, it's just ominous and scary. It's called Final Sentence. So obviously it's a typing game to help you hone your typing, but in the most stressful, fun environment. What's so unique about it too is that it has like this almost what am I doing here kind of backstory to it that you kind of find yourself kind of captivated. Like, why am I in this place typing? And why are these guns getting loaded towards me? And why is this guy sitting in front of me fucking up so bad? It's making me nervous, making me sweat. So when Tell introduced it to me, I'm like, I can't do this because I have terrible anxiety, and there's no absolute way that I can do this under the pressure that it is this game. So I called my wife over, and she sits down in front of the PC, and she does 5 games. She first is getting used to it. She's like, okay, all right, I'm understanding it now. And then that 5th game, she blows it out of the water. I mean, 73 words per minute, which she could do much better. She just kept messing up for some reason, but 73 words per minute, and she was cooking. Got first place. I was super proud of her. She enjoys it though. She likes it a lot. She didn't want to stop playing.
See, and I love that. I love that because it's such a barrier to entry. It's like the low level barrier to entry, but the skill cap is crazy high.
So high. But
it's also reminiscent of other games that many gamers who are like hardcore gamers, they will play on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's such a easy game to get into, but I could also find it, you know how some things are addictive. It could be that.
Yep. My wife was ready to go 2-3 more times. She was like, I got to get first place. She was not stopping until she got first. And she did it. It was awesome, man. It's an awesome concept of a game. Fun. They're going to make a killing when it comes out. If I were them though, this demo is popping off right now. Whatever they got right now, drop it in early access for $10 or whatever you got to do, because it right now is taking off. And if they wait too long, it could
be forgotten.
They could lose this momentum. Yep. It could be becoming one of those forgotten games that was popular for that demo and then poof, disappears.
Good point.
You know? So let's move on to this one news topic. It's a very quick one. And I'm not even going to read anything from it because I'm going to just talk about it because I find it to be super interesting. But the topic for today's main show, and we're going to get into it after we get into the news and everything, or this news topic and the new game updates or new game releases. But the topic is games that people never heard about that is super interesting. And what's crazy is that I thought this game would have been one of them, but I was sorely mistaken. This news article for this week is about Digimon, the Digimon Story Time Stranger game that released a couple of weeks back, had 84,000 concurrent players at its peak. Let me just check. Since we're doing this right now, let me just double check SteamDB to see if that has changed, because it's crazy how popular it's popped up, because this is one of those games I would never even thought would even be on anybody's radar, let alone be one of the top games on Steam. Yeah, so 84,000 is still his max player base. Incredible. 24-hour peak, still 41,000.
Now, I was talking to Polow recently. I asked him, like, do you ever see like Pokemon leaks or anything like that? And he said, not really. You know what I mean? Right? No. I'm a person who's like heavy in the Pokemon community, and I do have to avoid leaks because I follow a lot of Pokemon YouTubers and streamers and whatnot, and they talk about leaks. They'll talk about information that's coming. One of the things that I found very interesting, though, is that one of the things that Polow kind of said is that if people don't want to play this Pokemon game because they think it's going to be bad, then don't spend your money on it, right? And people were looking at this game, and there's a ton of people who are comparing the new Pokemon game to this. And I do think that while they are similar, they are very different in context, right? Because this new Pokemon game separates itself from what Pokemon has traditionally been in a lot of ways for us. But this this Digimon Time Strangers game, Digimon Story Time Strangers, what is really interesting about it is that it's doing it in a sense, it's almost taking over what Pokemon would normally do in this turn-based RPG mechanic with this kind of like, and it's what we wanted was like a more open world game with a good story, with you being able to have a lot of control over your monsters and how you battle with them. This Digimon game has been a huge topic, especially in the Pokemon community, for people who want to see Pokemon, Creatures Inc., just overall see them do better. And they're investing their money in this game.
That's interesting.
That is a huge reason why that 84,000 peak players is huge, because a lot of the Pokemon fans are saying, I'm not getting this Pokemon game. I want to play Digimon, or there's a reason that I should play Digimon. And I think that 100% protest with your wallet.
Yeah.
Be that. And I do think that this is a worthy game of that. Just looking at it alone, it has such a cool concept. It has so much versatility. I love these kind of games when they have this turn-based combat style. It is based off the Persona combat style, and it also looks amazing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I do think that this game launching in the way that it did, I hope that it gets a reemergence even. I hope that it comes back even further and people just return to it because it's just that good.
It's very reminiscent of Persona, because they even have, obviously, with, you know, how you digivolve Digimon, They even have like basically the fusion of the different Digimon to become other mon, like they do in the Persona series or Metaphor series or games of the ilk. And man, it made me really want to pick up this Digimon game. But the problem with that is, again, as we talked about at the beginning of this episode, there's just so much to play, man. So much to play. And I'm still captivated in my Guild Wars. I'm still captivated in my now Battlefield 6. So it's really hard for me to find time to pick up anything else that is, again, $70 for this as well. This is another one of the games where I would have never thought had been $60, $70. Even though this is like hour-wise quality, but it's still like these type of games wouldn't cross that threshold, wouldn't cross that price because of the fact that it's like not a quote-unquote major, it's not a major Persona, or it's not a new series from the same Persona team like Metaphor was, and etc. So it's crazy. 85% positive reviews on Steam. Hard to do on Steam because Steam is very mean. So yeah, it's just it blew my mind to see the success of this game, and I'm very happy for him. It made me want to play Digimon Cyber Sleuths because I do have that game already on my Steam, and I've had it for years and just never touched it. So interesting, man. Interesting. All right, moving on to the new and upcoming releases. New and upcoming releases. I only put Battlefield 6 here, even though it was already out, because I was gonna put it last week, but we didn't record an episode last week. But that came out October 10th. If you haven't played Battlefield 6, you want to talk about a game worth $70. This fucking thing is filled to the brim with content and quality and just fun gameplay all over the place. If you're into military style shooters, that is. And also Pokemon Legends ZA, which is going to be Tails pastime for the next month and a half, 2 months. A year. Yeah, true. But the sad thing is he can't play it on launch, obviously. But shortly after.
I won't be playing on launch because that is my personal at-home waifu's birthday. Just like it's my brother's birthday today, right now as we're recording. I won't be playing it immediately, but when I do play it, I plan to stream it. So
nice. That's going to be interesting. Maybe do like a little highlight reel or something like that you could put up.
Indeed.
Yeah. Even though with respect, we just started talking kind of shitting on the Pokemon company, I still want to play it so bad.
I actually think that this game is going to get better reviews than expected. Oddly enough.
Just as always, as one does. So yeah, it's already has a Metacritic score based off 45 critic reviews. It has an 81 right now. So it's definitely a better rating than, I think. Was it better than Violet? Yeah, by a whole 10 points. So Scarlet and Violet got a 71 and the user score of 4.1. So yeah, this is already looking better. What I'm more interested in than anything else is the new combat system. Like and then the story, bro. I hear the story for this is incredible.
I hope so, because it has a lot to build off of. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
It has the lore already pre-established, and that's the thing about Pokemon is that, like I said, I am huge in the Pokemon community. They have a lot of lore that they scrap and throw away. Pokemon ZA was in the game files 12 years ago.
Oh shit!
And we didn't have it was never called Pokemon Legends ZA. It was just Pokemon ZA, and there was already story. We already knew that. And that's the thing, is I already know something about some of the characters in this game just based off of like actual in-game lore that you could just read playing in the Pokemon game. And that's one of the things I love too. Just like how you would play Oblivion, there's books and stuff that lay around that tell you so much more than you would ever really care to know. But they have so much to build off of with this game. with just like a couple of Pokemon already that would, if you're into that, you will find a lot here. But like I said, I really don't know either because I haven't played this game. There's a lot that could change based off in-game lore, based off information that gets scrubbed from context and stuff like that. So I do hope that a lot of it is new to me. Just because that's something I'm really interested in. I want something new and fresh.
Okay, Tell, hear me out. I'm about to go somewhere with this. I'm about to take you on a journey.
Okay, let's go.
So we talk about how the Pokemon Company and Game Freak don't really get much in the way of time when it comes to development of Pokemon games. Did you see do you remember seeing, and I believe it was during the PlayStation State of Play a little ways ago. It was either that or like the Game Awards or something like that. But did you see the Game Freak game that they're coming out with? The action adventure game that come out kind of looks like Monster Hunter-esque almost, but it's an adventure game and it looks fucking graphically amazing. And the gameplay wise, no, hell no. The gameplay wise, fucking spectacular. It looks actiony packed. It just look up Game Freak's new game, and obviously it'll show what I'm talking about. Yeah. That game looks incredible. So we know what Game Freak is actually capable of when they're not constrained to Nintendo's forcification of Pokemon, the Pokemon Company, and making them just build these Pokemon games. Mm-hmm. So you know what I think Pokemon ZA is the result of? And you can tell me if I'm way off the mark because, again, you're more interested in this than I am. But this is reminiscent of a response, a very quick one, albeit, because what has it been, like maybe 2 or 3 years since Power World came out, but a response to Power World with this combat system. Power World's combat system was, and I just watched this trailer on Metacritic that they're showing, was exactly this. You throw out your pals and then you press their command moves while they still fight in the background while they're doing their own thing, while you're still running around them and watching them fight. I think this is a direct response to that. And while I'm looking at it, this, with respect, still looks like absolute dog shit because they have to rush. Their development time is like towards plots or something like Power World to feel like what they got to do to get the audience back into Pokemon again is to kind of bite off of Power World, and they only got 3 years to do it, 3-4 years to build it. And I'll even take it a step further because I 100% agree with what you just said, right? I do think it's a sort of response because Pokemon Legends ZA was their deviation from what they would normally do, right? Oh, big time. I'm looking at it now. I think that eventually they would have done something like this, but they had to do it sooner, right? Crazy. I just talked about this recently. Even those boss fights, to avoid leaks, but talk about how Game Freak or Pokemon does things. The Pokemon game, the Pokemon Legends ZA game has leaked already. And what Pokemon fails to do often is that, and it's because of the Switch 1 is hackable, is that they will leave information inside the games. And I believe they did this intentionally. Inside the code for Pokemon Legends ZA on the Switch 1 version, they have found the name of the next Pokemon games. They have found a new Pokemon remake edition, and then essentially another third Pokemon game that's not fully divulged yet, but intentionally so. We know that Pokemon is on a year to 2 year game schedule when they make these games. The next 3 games are already in the making, right? And it's like, how do you do that and make a quality game? And I don't think that they can. Yeah. So that's why I think that this was a very quick response. And I do think that there's going to be some negatives that come from that, right? But, and I always say this, I wish that they would take their time sometimes. Me too, man. Just take a break. Give me it. I mean, I understand you release the game every year. Give me 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Give me 4 or 5 years. I can wait that long. Especially if you're going to come out with something that's absolutely insane. Yeah. Did you look at that game I was talking about? Oh yeah, I did. 100%. Wonderful, right? Like their capability is there. They have the ability to do that shit. They just, unfortunately, don't get the time to do it. Because you have to think, right? Like, you have to think the Pokemon company is giving them information. Probably they give the information and like, okay, you guys have to work as fast as you can because we don't know when this information is going to be fully fucking divulged to the community, because you guys seem like savages over there in the Pokemon community when it comes to leaks, according to what you're just telling me. So they seem like they gotta hold back as much information as they can with the Pokemon company before they give it to Game Freak, and Game Freak do their thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. It gotta be somebody in Game Freak selling the information or something.
It probably is. I mean, it's a large game IP. They don't have to. It is the largest gaming IP. They don't have to ever make mistakes like that. But they do.
And Game Freak, yeah, no fucking shot. Yeah, this explains it. Game Freak only has 207 employees as of March 24. What the fuck? That explains a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sword and Shield had 180 to 200 people on it. And as of 2024 for ZA and the rest they have. What the hell?
But I imagine they have been expanding a little bit. They had to add a couple people to their staff.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah, a couple. I mean, literally probably a couple.
Yeah, literally a couple. So interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff, Game Freak. That is a hard-working company. That's for damn sure.
Could be a little harder working. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, you can't. Well, can we really say that with a 270?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying. Yeah.
And the fact that they're even making another game in between all these Pokemons and shit is something else.
Well, it's Game Freak and Creatures Inc. They're technically two companies that make Pokemon.
And Creatures Inc.
Yeah.
So do they rotate like is it like an Activision Blizzard thing?
Yeah, I believe that Creatures Inc. is they often partake in like the development of like the remake games, but I think they're all
so they're a part of Game Freak.
Yeah, they co-own Pokemon's franchise.
Yep. They're 270 people, 74 people as well. So point remains the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, people. Hire more people, man. Y'all got so much money.
They do most of the spin-off games in the Pokemon trading card game.
Yep. Damn. Yeah, so they do like the fucking Sasha that I don't ever play.
Mm-hmm. That you don't ever play.
Yeah. That's interesting. It was spun up recently, huh? Yeah. Wow.
All right, you ready to get to this topic, brother, man?
Let's get to the topic, bro. All right, moving on to the critical hit. This critical hit is based off of games we think nobody heard of. Now, we know some of you probably heard of some of the stuff we're going to talk about. We're not saying that we're solely responsible for the games we're about to mention, but I just thought we should talk about games that we think that nobody heard of that we've played. I just think something like this would be fun. I don't mind starting.
Okay.
One game that I've thoroughly enjoyed, that I think people who love games like Valkyria Chronicles would absolutely adore. Okay. It's a gritty and immersive story brought to life with the latest technology, introducing real-time tactical battle, RTTB, a new deeply strategic real-time battle system in the beginning of a new strategy RPG, crafted by some experienced development teams. Development team being Square Enix. Okay. This game is called DioField Chronicles. Now, I didn't get to finish it, but I got about 15, 20 hours in it. Uh, this was a special one. The story was intriguing. The combat, very, very real time tactical. Like you kind of like draw a marker on where you want your people to go. They run to it. And they set up like these crazy intricate moves that are just so cool. And the story was full of a lot of political intrigue that was reminiscent of something like Game of Thrones. And I find it to be so much fun. It does have a mixed rating on Steam, but it only has 659 reviews. It came out in 2022. Very good time, DioField Chronicles. And I want to re-download it to continue playing it because I had a really, really good time playing this game.
How do you spell that?
Dio, so it's DioField Chronicle.
Gotcha.
The DioField Chronicle.
That's what I was looking for.
And it has the same little art style. Like you could tell it's a Square Enix game, so it has the same hand-drawn art style that they use in all their, Final Fantasy games and Bravely Default and that stuff. But it was a very, very good time, and I gotta finish it because I enjoyed it, a lot of it.
This does look very, very interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
So, the game that I wanted to mention, and I'm just going to be honest here, a lot of the games that I am going to mention are probably not going to be similar to what Polow's going to mention, because a lot of times I play games where I can just jump in and jump out.
Yeah.
And this is a game I thoroughly enjoy. And while I don't think that it doesn't have very many players anymore, it was called Omega Strikers.
Oh, yeah. I
And
remember you being into that heavy.
essentially what it is like table tennis, a group table tennis. You got 3 players versus 3 players. And basically you're trying to score and you have abilities that do different things. So you'll have like your guard who can summon things to block so that you don't get scored on. You have a person who has a long range rocket that I was dog walking people with. You'll just have strikers who can jump in and blitz people, and you're basically fighting each other while also trying to score. So you can knock each other out of the ring. You can knock each other out if they lose all your HP. You can heal each other. You can, like I said, summon things. One of my favorite moves is like a nuke. And what I would do is I would use my long range missile to hit the puck towards the enemy. And then before they can knock it back, I would drop the nuke. And as soon as they hit it, the nuke would knock it back to them and knock them back. So it was like one of my favorite things to do. Diabolical. It was amazing though. But you had to be accurate because the long range missile was very easy to miss. But the game is a very fun game to get in and like kind of jump out with really quickly. And the matches are like, they could be like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not long to play. You can get a couple of matches in really quick and go and do something else. But Omega Strikers is a game that was very fun and easy to play and jump into whenever I had free time.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember you had me interested in it, but you already it just wasn't for me because it was. Sometimes I don't like to be too competitive. Sometimes too sweaty, and that seemed like a game you would want to get sweaty in
all the time.
So this next game I'm talking about here, I played it on stream actually for about 2.5 hours, and I've really been meaning to go back to it, but again, games just keep coming out. But this one just came out with a second free content update, and it's a shorter game, but it's called The Precinct. It is a top-down police simulator game that was super intriguing. It was very, very police simulator. You had to, when you're pulling over cars, you have to make sure check to make sure they're drunk, or if they're acting suspicious, make them step out, search their cars, and you can write people tickets on the street. There was this main story where he was investigating the death of your father, who was the former police chief of the precinct. And it was like you kind of get into these tussles with the gangs, and it was so much fun. It very reminiscent, the combat wise, is very reminiscent of Hotline Miami for those of you who are familiar with that PlayStation gem.
Yeah,
but it was more detailed in the way that it was a police simulator. I'm talking, you got like, you could call in helicopters and chase, run, people that are escaping, escaping fucking, I'm trying to say, arrest by running in the car. You could get in a helicopter. It's just so much to it that you could do that with so much depth in it that I'm like, this is insane. Insane how much depth is in this game. So they just introduced their second free content update, which is called the tow update. So abandoned vehicles can now be cleared from the streets, allowing traffic to flow more freely. Some in a tow truck, and the obstruction is to be dealt with immediately. Offending vehicles can be sent to the city impound and salvage yard, or tied to criminal activity for the forensic unit to analyze. So it's very much that type of simulator game, but a very, very good time. Very, very good time. So check out the Precinct if you haven't already. It's a good time.
I remember you telling me about that game, and I actually thought it sounded very interesting as well when you first introduced it to me.
Yeah, and playing it on stream, man, it was a good time because people were making fun of how terrible my driving was.
It's one of those games that you're gonna drive terribly.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you're a police officer, like, you should probably get a ticket in this game. So my next game is going to be one that actually Polow played with me. We didn't play in the same world, but we did play together, and it's Sengoku Dynasty.
Ooh,
now, great one. This game is it's not what would be more similar to Valheim.
Yes,
it would be. So think of it as this. You are a warlord who was stranded in Sengoku, basically. And you have to build your own village all over again, and make a kingdom that rises above all the others. And you have different paths you can take. You can be just a dynasty leader where you command a lot of people and build up your economy and do trade. Or they added new things where, like, you can actually build up a samurai clan and have samurais who will fight alongside you. Where now they have. Yeah, you can have kids, you can have waves of enemies who will come and your samurai will fight to defend your land, or you can be the warrior themselves and you will be like the actual warlord who also is the head of the dynasty and go out and conquer other dynasties and kingdoms as you build your own. But the game, the way you play it is very interesting because you have a skill tree, so to speak, where you invest your points in order to, push forward how you will play. I know that when Polow and I played, he invested, I think, a little bit more in his economy.
Yep.
And he was just doing way better economically than I was, but I was investing in fighting. And I was out there fighting people who were 10 levels higher than me, getting my butt whooped, but able to beat them solo. But when they were 2 or 3 of them, I could not beat them. Yeah. But the game, it just has a level of depth and creativity to it that I thought was unrealized because there just wasn't a ton of people who talked about it or played it. But I did find it extremely fun, and I've been wanting to have a reason to just jump back into it and play it all over again.
That's a good one. Yeah, we actually got to do the physical co-op too. That'd be a good time. That's true. My next game. How many games we got on our list so far?
5.
Let's each do one more.
4.
Let's each do one more.
Okay.
This one, I guess is very, very me, very tactical again. But this one is called Wartales. Wartales came out in 2023 and has just been doing nothing but releasing content on top of content on top of content. This is actually a sandbox game where you're building a band of married men, basically, and you're literally just surviving in this vast open world. You can do stuff from like the DLC content, from like opening fucking taverns and sailing the seas, or just becoming a pirate. Like it's just, you could do whatever you want. And it's another one of those tactical games where you can just recruit a bunch of mercenaries and just wreak havoc on this land. Or you could be a mercenary band that take care of bandits and protect villages and stuff. And the depth of this one is crazy. Wartales is an open world RPG in which you lead a group of mercenaries in their search for wealth across a massive medieval universe. Explore the world, recruit companions, and collect bounties, and unravel the secrets of the Tomb of the Ancients. And then again, there is, just to put it into perspective, there is about, I have the game already. The game is only $35. There's so many expansions though that have released, and I'm trying to find a good number of them. Let's see here. There are a total of, I just want to give you an accurate number of how many just expansions. So you have content for fucking years. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansion packs that does so much, that just changes the game completely. One includes taming pets like bears and wolves and other crazy looking creatures. It's almost like, you know what? I got one more after this. Sorry, I know we said one more, but it's. I'm gonna just say it now as an honorable mention. It reminds me of Kenshi. You remember Kenshi?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's just like Kenshi, big sandbox game, but Kenshi's being more like action based opposed to this like kind of tactical warfare strategy type of combat. But both very good.
Nice. My game is going to be a game that is still near and dear to my heart. Polow also played this game with me. And actually, Polow is the reason that I started playing this game. And it is no longer available to play at all.
Oh.
Atlas Reactor. I mean, that's not true. It is available to play. But it is because the community keeps it running. It has their own server for it.
Oh, a private server.
Yes. And there is like a small community of people who still play the game. And basically they run servers so that they can all play together. But what Atlas Reactor is a multiplayer team-based strategy game where every character essentially is playing against every other character. Once again, this is my competitive side speaking. You know exactly what kind of person I am at this point. It is essentially like a 3v3 or 4v4 game, depending on which mode you're playing in. And every character moves at the same time and there are different phases. So think about how you'll have a movement phase. In that movement phase, you can do different things. Some people have different movement mechanics. So one person might jump, one person might slingshot, another person has a jetpack, and those things will apply different effects. A person who jumps may land and cause a splash damage that hits everybody around, whereas some person might move extremely far but does no damage at all. And other people will have like AoE attacks who do, some damage or do apply debuffs, while another character will have a single target damage that does a ton of damage, or a single target attack that does a ton of damage. The game for me was extremely fun because it was about predictions. It's like playing chess while trying to figure out what the enemy's next chess move was. Trying to make sure you were in the right spot to support your team and also win the match. Atlas Reactor was a great game. It's by Telliano Worlds. It just wasn't financially stable because a lot of people weren't playing it, but it is a game that, man, I'll tell you now, I do miss it. I 100% miss this game, bro. I know I could sit here and gush about it all day, but it was certainly one of those games that I would turn it on and the matches weren't necessarily short either. I wouldn't say they were long matches, but they were definitely something that you could have a shorter match or a longer match depending on who the teammates and how the matches would go based on health and whatnot.
Cool, man. Cool. And with that, that's a wrap for the critical hit. We did a relatively great job outside of Tel's last mention of Atlas Reactor of mentioning games that people can still play right now. So cool. If you're interested in any of these games, and if you're a PC player, or I guess all console nows have this feature as well, but I don't think they'll have the games I mentioned for sakes. I know they may be DioField Chronicles, but add them to your wish lists. So maybe you can catch these games that we talked about on sale. and give them a try. Let us know what you think. And now for the patented game over.
What you playing, bro?
This week, or Battlefield 6. I'm looking forward to it like crazy. Let me check the calendar and see when what the weekend looks like. Yeah, the weekend by the time we record next, which is Monday, either Monday or Tuesday, there's really nothing else I will have other than Battlefield 6.
I plan on playing some Battlefield 6.
No way. Not with Pokemon being right there.
Oh, yeah. No, I plan on playing Battlefield 6.
Oh, okay.
But I also 100% plan on playing Pokemon Legends ZA. That will 100% get most of my time. But I do want to play Battlefield 6 just in general because it's a game hear me out when I say this. I want to support the game because of how good it is. I think it deserves that support.
It's one of them ones.
But also, I don't play a ton of shooters anymore. And it's a shooter that if I'm going to play one, this is the one.
Yes.
This is the one.
Yeah.
But also, Pokemon Legends. So I'm definitely going to be playing that. And I'll also be probably playing some more Mario or some more Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
Some more Mario Sonic Racer Crossworlds.
Yeah.
But no, hey, man. Dope, man. Dope. This has been Respec Games, where we respect games. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, wait. See y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.